And hello. Welcome to the first full episode of It's the Food, It's the Food, It's the Food. I have an introductory video I made yesterday on my birthday. And basically it is my dream to be a YouTube content creator and to tell this story of my disturbed eating for the past 58 years. Past 21 months, I've been able to maintain a substantial weight loss, and that's really the point of the entire thing is being able to maintain a weight loss. I, in the past, have been able to lose weight very easily at times, hard at other times, but I could muster the strength to lose weight, and I could never maintain it. And for the most part, it would last a very short amount of time. I did at one point go a number of years, but it was up and down. I would gain a little, lose a little. I wouldn't get really big, but eventually that would change. I would get to be the biggest size I ever was, and then some. But tonight the episode is titled "The Boil Frosting Cake," and we're going to go into my we're going to start at the beginning of the food that I was given and how it all came to be. And let's see here. We'll go ahead. And there is Mother Mary, Mary Alexander, and she holding me as a newborn, and she was a heavy smoker, at least a couple packs a day. She was bipolar. She could be violent. She was smart. She was an educated woman. Had been to college, had worked for the CIA, lived in Washington, D.C. for 6 years before she was married. She had a high-level job at IBM as executive secretary. Met my father, had me, and there's my father holding me, a little bit older there, and he had gone to Farmingdale College, horticulture. He was drafted into the Army and fought in Korea, was a combat veteran, had his own business at times, did other janitorial work, stuff like that, and was a slacker before it was fashionable. Be an educated guy, a smart guy that just never lived up to his potential. And there we are as a very rare family shot, and he probably around 1 year old, probably. We're up north at my mother's aunt's house, and probably around 63. And let's see, there's my mother holding me, and lovingly. It's probably when I was baptized as a baby, and the day I was baptized in the front yard of my house, so that I grew up at. But this is it right here. This is my first birthday. This is 1963, and it would be 4 months before Kennedy was assassinated, about 7 months before the Beatles hit America, and I was 1 year old. And this is no ordinary cake. It looks like with a cake with a candle. This cake is a devil's food cake, and look how many layers. 1, 2, 3, a 4-layer cake, and the icing on it is a 7-minute icing. It's from the Betty Crocker cookbook, and it is egg whites, about 1.5 cups of sugar with corn syrup or cream of tartar, pinch of salt, some cold water, and it's whipped on a double boiler. It's basically the same ingredients as Fluffernutter. And this is what they gave me on my first birthday. Now, I would go on to become a piss in my pants, blackout alcoholic by the age of 26. Would go on to have just epic problems with refined carbohydrates and morbid obesity. But this is what they gave me. This cake, Dick and Mary. Mary baked it. It was her specialty. She made two things, two desserts. lemon meringue pie, and she would bake these cakes on our birthday. And a couple times a year, she would make the boil frosting cake. And I don't know. I mean, did I give my kid cake at one? Maybe we did. I don't know. I wouldn't today. I wouldn't give a child. This is pure sugar, pure 100% sugar that had been cooked, melted on a double boiler and whipped into this just unbelievably delicious icing on Devil's Food Cake. Basically, it's a Suzy Q. If you ever had a Hostess Suzy Q, and the thing I want to get out is my mother would cook food by necessity, begrudgingly, out of necessity only. She did not like to cook. Many times that I remember her saying, "I'm an eater, not a cooker," and I was probably fed. She probably fed me. I know she didn't nurse. I was not breastfed. I was given formula and then probably Gerber's baby food, and then transitioned into standard American diet. And she was a sugar addict. She ate candy bars every day. Milky Way was her favorite. She always had candy bars. She was a heavy smoker. Later, alcoholic. I know she smoked during the pregnancy. The two of them would smoke when they ate dinner. They didn't even stop to eat. They're smoking, and so that's how those years. There was just, as far as food went. Now there's going to be in episode 2. We're going to get into another part of this of the food, and how my father was raised with food and the way my father treated food. But my mother, cooking was just a necessity that she had to do, and she did not enjoy it. She used, from the earliest time, convenience foods, minute rice, rice-a-roni, instant potatoes, canned vegetables, very, very little bits of food. And this is 1966, and this is where the episode will stop. We'll go this far, and to those years up to age 4, the food I ate was obviously the food they gave me. And you see, look at a gumball machine right there, and I know I was given treats and cake and ice cream and cookies and snack cakes and like I said, we'll get into episode 2, the next phase of it, but it was I look at this cake and I just giving me sugar like that, and there were other pictures, there were slides of me ripping into this, of just being covered in this cake, and maybe one day I'll find the pictures, and it just was now seems crazy to me, but it just was the start of an addiction to sugar and refined carbohydrates. I mean, that is the most delicious, tastiest thing you could ever imagine. And they had no concept of in their lives, in our house, in that kitchen, right by that little kitchen, it was just cooking for her was a chore, and something that she, like I said, she did not like to do, and she did because she had to. And it's going to be much deeper. Episode 2, we'll get into the second part of that she had to deal with the way my father was raised and what he had going on. However, for me, it would have just been formula and Gerber's baby food, mixed in with whatever, standard American diet stuff. I imagine chicken, chopped meat, hamburgers, hot dogs, pork, And they liked ham. I hated ham. That was the one food I couldn't stand. And once a week they had like a cured canned ham, whatever that stuff was. I hated the smell. And like I said, they smoked at the table. They smoked constantly. They drank coffee. To this day, I have never smoked a cigarette or drank a cup of coffee my entire life. Just from the earliest age, I hated the smell of those two things. And so that's was the start of it. And I was not as a slim child. No problems from those years. And that's it. We'll get into we'll have another episode tomorrow, and we'll get into the next bunch of years and what I had to deal with, and what was going on with these insane people that decided to have a family. And so I'll get better at this. I got a little bit figuring out each time what to do. And if obviously in the beginning here I'm just doing this for myself, but should this ever get into somebody, get out and people start watching it, please like the video, please subscribe. This is going to be an epic story of how I was not going to go through life as a morbidly obese person, and I was gonna, thank goodness for the internet, thank goodness for the people that are out there that exist inside of the internet that gave me the information I needed to be able to maintain, not lose weight, maintain a weight loss for now over 21 months. So, till next time, we're out.